Hello! Since I was changing the banner a little, I wanted to do a quick lesson on how we put this together in After Effects. So I have a 10-second composition here, and I have these elements. One of the first things I did was actually figure out what style I wanted, and if I haven't mentioned before, I think it's a great idea to pick fonts, to pick colors. I actually have a Google document where I put all my fonts that I use and all my colors. You might have something else that you want, but just that way I'm kind of keeping it consistent for branding across different platforms. Here is my Illustrator document that I used just to kind of spell out how I wanted to lay all of this out. One of the nice things is that in Adobe, or if you have them installed on your computer, if you're using other stuff, you can keep your fonts consistent. After Effects will let you copy and paste those, and then you can just place them where you want. So I did import this whole Illustrator document because I wanted this little cat graphic here. And I redrew this part because I found the box was a bit odd. This comes from my business card, but I like it. It makes me happy. I went to After Effects and I did a File, Import. But when you want to bring in an Illustrator document or anything like that for reference, you can do Files. I can do Design. I can do an Import. And I want to bring it in as composition. I'm bringing it as composition. I hit OK. These are all the elements I had in this. I had a cat. I have some movement. We'll do a little exercise with that later. But for this one, I can go through, and if I double click on the composition, I'll get all of those layers. There's some things I want. There's some things I don't want. I'm going to take out Big Cat, Keyboard, and Computer. We'll do some stuff with that later. I have the dot missing. I think this might be on the reference name. Yep. And this is on the reference jobs. I have those just so that I knew the position if I retyped it. I did adjust this a little in my final design. I can also pretty easily just go ahead and click, copy, and put that in After Effects. I can just grab my text and paste, and it will carry all the attributes over. I can click and drag if I want to be a little more precise with that. I can go ahead and use the arrows as well to do the nudge, same as I did. I can also change my anchor point if I want to do any animation or movement with this. So I'm going to put this kind of centered bottom corner. And if I were to do something like a position, which you won't see as obviously, or if I were to do like a scale, it's always going to scale around that anchor point. So getting those anchor points set is really important. Once I've used that as my reference, I can go through and then just click and delete it. I'm also going to move that cat dot layer. I think I wanted it about there. I think that looks good. And I'm also, since this cat dot is above, I don't necessarily want to do a mask because I don't want to subtract it. I could, but it'll be easy enough just to do a real quick little shape over this eye and move that under the cat dot. And now I can't see the eye dot. I could go ahead and change the composition color, the background color, and that will change what it looks like for me, but it doesn't export. So you almost never want to change your color with this. Instead, actually looking at that, does this shape layer have a stroke? It does have a stroke. I think if I roll my mouse over, it tells me to hit Alt-click to sample through it. And I can click until I get rid of that stroke completely. So I have my shape layer set. I have this. And I'm going to go to this bottom area. I'm going to right-click New and put a solid in. I'm just keeping it a basic white background. I'll drag it under. So for my job references, this is where I want these to be. This is how I want to move them. There's a couple different ways I can do this. If you're more comfortable with solids, if masks feel like you're a little kind of overwhelmed, you can definitely just click, actually not with this selected, but with absolutely nothing selected, because if it's selected, it wants to make a mask. And I'll show you what a mask does in a minute. But if I just wanted to make a shape, I could have nothing selected. I could draw another white shape. And I could move that under. Maybe this is going to be, hit enter to rename, top shape. It's got to be like that, doesn't it? Here we go. It will be behind this, but then if I was moving this area here, ultimately what I want is for when I move the position, it goes in, it goes away and gets hidden. But that's ultimately not the most efficient way to do this. But I'm going to show how to do this with masks. So first, I'm going to go back to my Illustrator document. I'm going to copy this layer. With my text tool selected, putting it in the same area, I'm going to Control V, and it'll hopefully copy that over for me. Now let's say I wanted this to line up. There's a couple different things I could do. For instance, I can do a view show rulers. If you've ever used Illustrator or Photoshop, it's very similar. I can click and drag, and using this reference, I can put a guide down there so I know where I want to line my text up when I animate. Now that I've done this, I really don't have any need for that reference because I like having the text made in After Effects. I think it makes it a little cleaner, and then I can edit it. I sometimes make spelling errors, so it's very good for me to be able to fix that. The other thing I can do, I change my paragraph styles, and I can go to this Align menu. If with this selected, I click Center, it'll center it to my composition. I might want to do that to this layer as well. Now, if I do that and it moves, my little cat head might move too. So I can go to this cat dot and I can link it to Tina LeBaron either by using this click here, or I could do the pick whip and have just dragged it. So let's say I had none. That's a little easier for you to link. Either way is going to link it. But that means this will follow it, so if I align this, the cat head will move with it. And that's really handy for basic Illustrator and After Effects and all those things. Anytime you can cause something to parent and move together, it's less things you have to worry about moving individually, right? So we'll go to this animation, graphic design area, or graphics, basically listing everything I generally tend to teach, at least the subheadings. And click and drag. And that's about where I want it. You would think, right? You're like, look, it says mask. It's actually not what you want to do, because now if I move this, it'll move with it. So this is great for masking out one area. I can't see the other stuff, but then the mask moves with the layer. It creates a parented relationship. Or if you want the animation to move through the mask, you have to do it a different way. And that's related to that shape creation once again. So I'll make sure nothing is selected. I'll grab this rectangle tool, and now I'll go ahead and draw the shape I want to be the mask. Have an option right here for your track mat. And what the track mat will do is it'll let this shape become a mask for this. If you don't see that, you want to click your toggle switch modes down here. You'll see it. And I want this shape layer to be the mask for animation. So I can go to this, go to shape layer 2, and now it's my mask. And when I move it, my text moves through it. And that's exactly what I want to happen. So I'm actually going to start it down here. And I'll set my first keyframe, just my position, at 1 second. I'll move it to be here. I'm going to hold that keyframe till about 2 seconds. I'll set it here. I'll have the next one move up. I'll set it again here so that it holds at about 4 seconds. I'll go to the next one. And you get the point. I'm just repeating this. And notice I am not clicking the stopwatch. If I do that, it makes all of my animation go away. So I want to hit this if I want to add a stationary keyframe in the same position. And then I'll do the next one. And I'm just going to leave it at this point. This will be the end of the animation. Thank you, and I hope this helps out.